Okay. Now it looks like we are now working.
We are live.
So we are doing a 15 minutes in hell, but for this one, this is going to be an episode of Through the Eyes of an Ensign.
Through the eyes of an ensign.
Especially with the historical episode crossover between Strange New Worlds and
Lower Decks.
Lower Decks. So
And the perfection that it was.
So Heath has been non-stop wanting to talk about it, so we legit had to do an episode of Through the Eyes of an Ensign.
It was so good.
So, start from the beginning.
From the beginning. Well, in 1964, Gene Roddenberry had a vision. One thing led to another, and we got this amazing episode.
You said this is the best episode you've seen in 20 years?
Yes, it was absolutely perfect. Like, when they announced that they were going to do it, I'm like, how? How are you going to mesh animated cartoon that's from the guy that does Rick and Morty with arguably the best live-action Trek since Voyager? And they pulled it off flawlessly. There's so much, like, funny things that are just funny, but they're not, like, meant to be funny. Like, the portal they get pulled in through. Hold on.
Much food up.
My fan better not be off in my room. Cut him on and get some of that stuff put it top with.
So with Lower Decks,
So now I gotta come and clean the refrigerator out.
it was meant to be funny. But this one, it was just one of those, like, they weren't trying. It was just that good of an episode.
It starts out on the Cerritos,
Yeah.
and they're going to this
Now, is it live-action Cerritos or is it animated Cerritos?
animated Cerritos.
Okay.
And they go to this planet to survey this portal that Tindy, Rutherford, Boimler, and Mariner go down to.
Yeah.
And Boimler's going off about this historical thing, that historical thing, that this planet was found by Starfleet, by the Enterprise first, and then Tindy goes, no, it was found by Orion an Orion science vessel first. And he's like, Orion science vessel, you mean pirates? She's like, no. So my great grandmother was on this vessel. And so they inadvertently activate it.
Yeah.
Boimler gets pulled into the past. And the Enterprise is in orbit of that planet, and they find him. And it's just so many funny things. They when he wakes up in sick bay, they're like, you're from the future, because he's trying to cover, like, he's like, what star date is it? And they're like, 2169.4. He's like, oh, right, that's the exact star date. That's right. And they're like, we know you're from the future. You don't have to try to do whatever it is you're failing to do.
Why does Mariner show up?
Well, they realize that, like, the power source of that gate is some element. I can't remember what it's called. Heromium or something like that.
No, it was dolomite, baby.
Dolomite, baby. Well, they figure out that there's enough of it left in the gate for one more trip. And so they bring him down there, and they turn it on, and he's standing there, and then Mariner flies through. And they're like, fuck. Because they don't have any more. And it's not an element that you can just make easily, apparently.
Yeah.
Because Boimler and Spock try to make it, and they fail.
Yeah.
And Spock has emotions. Because right now in the season, him and Nurse Chapel are trying to be together. And Spock is...
Isn't he married in this?
No.
Not yet.
No. He never actually gets married. It's explained in the TOS episode of Muck Time.
Yeah.
It's more than an engagement, but less than a marriage.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of indulging his human side a bit more, and Boimler makes him laugh. And then Boimler sees him smiling, and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, and he goes to Nurse Chapel. He's like, "Did I do something? Because the Spock I know, he's not this. We need serious Spock. If the stuff that's going to happen is going to happen." And she's like, "No, he's acting that way because of me." And then she tells Spock, and then Spock later on when they're working together is like, "I'm not supposed to be acting like this, am I? I'm not supposed to be indulging in these emotions, am I?" He's like, "No." Because he tries and fails so much to obey the Temporal Prime Directive if you don't discuss future events, because he's in awe of everybody.
He's excited. He's like a little kid at a candy show. Because of course it's Boimler.
There's so many good bits with everybody. Because he goes up on the bridge and he's like, because he's on the bridge of the Enterprise, and he's like, the USS Enterprise 170 point dash nothing. And then I think number one goes, what would come after a dash? Because they haven't done that yet. The A's and the B's and the C's and the D's and all that. Yeah.
Kirk's was Enterprise A, wasn't it?
Huh?
Was Kirk's Enterprise A, or was it?
Well, Captain April, Captain Pike, and Captain Kirk were
The original
1701 Enterprise.
Okay.
And then that one got destroyed in Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
And then at the end of Voyage Home, they make him the A.
Okay.
And that gets decommissioned at the end of 6.
Yeah.
And then you get the B, where you gotta go. But, it's funny because Mariner, when she gets there, when she's like smitten by Spock,
Yeah.
when she thinks he's hot, and
To be fair, Spock is hot.
and she's like in awe of Uhura, and she's like to Uhura, she's like, you're like my hero. You're great at all these things, linguistics, and Uhura's like, I'm 22 years old, and I'm an ensign. Like, I'm supposed to do all this great stuff, and you're just piling all this on me. And so she's like, well, let's loosen you up, and they go to the bar.
Yeah.
And they get her to kind of loosen up a little bit, and then she has an aha moment because she's trying to decipher the glyphs that are on this ancient time portal.
Yeah.
And she realizes it's an ancient Nausicaa. And you're like, oh, this is a lead. This is going to tell us how it works and everything. The Nausicaans just wrote, this is a time portal all over it.
So now y'all go back to school to 17.
And Nausicaans are kind of stupid.
I'm going to go on and ask.
Are they on level of the...
No.
Okay.
Not the Packwards.
I ain't go back to you.
But
The Packwards are best.
they are smartest with biggest brain.
I think they don't have it.
Oh, God.
But there's just so many good little bits here and there in it. Because Pike is talking to number one, and he's like, you notice how loud they talk? And then
Really?
Mariner is talking to Boimler. She's like, why does everybody talk so low and so serious?
Like if
It's just,
well, it always had
it's such an amazing episode from start to end. And then
So it's just, I think somebody was messing with.
they're
Spock.
able to,
I think somebody messed with
send him
Spock.
back to the Cerritos and everything.
Yeah.
And that's when it goes back to the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Because this drink that Mariner had made for her and Uhura and Ortega's
Yeah.
was called
Alright, got it.
Orion Hurricanes.
Yeah.
But she's like it's not quite the same. She's because you don't have any Orion Daylock. I think she says. And she said that stuff mess you up. Well, they have to parlay with some Orions
Yeah.
in order to get everything fixed, and a part of that, the Orions gave them a case of this Orion
Yeah.
alcohol, and so they're making authentic Orion Hurricanes, and they're all in the ready room drinking, or in Pike's quarters drinking and stuff, and it's all animated. And they're like, does anybody else feel like their eyes are huge. I feel like my eyes are huge. I'm like, does everything look two-dimensional? What is this stuff? It's because there's a ride drinks are messing them up.
That sounds like a freaking fantastic episode.
And it's like, it was just so fun from start to finish. And it was just, I can't say enough how much fun it was to watch. How much of a perfect Star Trek episode it was.
Well, it was a Frank's episode, so.
And apparently, Tawny Newsome, who plays Mariner, and Jack Quaid, who's Boimler, they ad-libbed a ton. And they said, nobody said we couldn't, so we just did it.
Oh, is that what they just said in the actual...
Oh, no, and this is an interview of the Will Wheaton show.
Huh.
Will Wheaton. And there's some, like, Boimler's walking in the hallway with La'an and Mooney and Singh.
Yeah.
And he goes, and she goes, no more breaking in the temple time directive. And he said, I swear I won't. Warp's on her. He went, oh shit. She has no clue what warp is. And then they're trying to, Boimler and Mariner are trying to steal a shuttlecraft because they're going to fix this problem on their own.
Yeah.
And, well, Boimler is. He turns on the light, and then Mariner's there, and he goes, holy Q. And she went, no, don't say that. They haven't made him yet. And then she says, they've got a whole Trelane thing going on. And if you've seen the TOS episode, there's this entity named Trelane.
Yeah.
And he's sort of Q-ish.
Yeah.
He has Q powers. And he's kind of over the top. And he was probably the inspiration for Q. But it makes me, and a lot of fans have speculated for a long time, is Trelane a Q? He's a Q now, come on.
So this...
And apparently Boimler dressed up as Pike for Halloween. It's so good.
Please tell me he said that the Pike is I dressed up as you for Halloween when
No. Mariner said that to Pike with Boimler next to him. And he's like, yeah. And they make a ton of of Enterprise references.
Yeah.
Because the element that they need, apparently they used to use in Starship construction, and it's prominently in the NX-01 Enterprise.
Yeah.
And so they have to... I was thinking, they're going to go to the museum that's in Picard and like steal a piece of the NX-01, which would have been great. But they don't, because they mention that every starship that's named after a previous starship, they take a piece of that starship and put it into the new starship.
That's cool.
Which is a U.S. Navy tradition, apparently. And so they find the piece of the NX-01 that's in this Enterprise, and they use it to extract the elements. And I was like, I was wanting them to go steal the NX-01.
just to see Boimler and Mariner go full lower decks.
Oh, it was so good.
It sounds like a fucking fantastic episode, and I need to watch it.
And then I started the next episode because we got 2 episodes this week. And the episode that is got to do with the Klingon ambassador and Klingon war, it's like super fucking serious. I didn't finish it. I didn't have time to do it for work. But I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna watch the Lower Decks crossover one again, and then I'll finish up the super serious Klingon War one. Seriously, that's like it's up there on favorite Trek episodes of all time.
What are your favorite episodes?
Favorite Trek episodes of all time? I'll do from each series. That's a little easier.
Okay, so we're doing a captain's pick.
Captain's pick. In TOS, I'm gonna have to say Balance of Terror.
That's a really good one.
And Space Seed is number 2. The episode with Khan is number 2. Because that's the one with the Romulans, and use a cloaking device, and
yeah. No water.
The Romulan commander is played by the guy